Good evening, everyone, and welcome to an very exciting session of Candid Meena today. Especially with the fact that there is very big breaking news that there has been some movement in the case of the Disha Salian case by the BJP Maharashtra government, because a lot of the viewers have been expecting the BJP Maharashtra government to take some action, especially with the case of the Disha Salian case, and we'll be discussing that. And we are welcoming, your one of our favorite speakers, Mr. Shekar Iyer ji, back with us once again. Welcome, Shekar ji.
Thank you. Thank you, Jaydev. Thanks for having me. Thank you, Meenaji.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So, sir, we can start with the first point, which is BJP, increases, though it increases its vote share in Telangana, it fails to win even as, the anger brewed against KCR. How did they get their chemistry wrong in Telangana, sir? What's happening? I mean, do you see it as a good sign, or do you see, it as, mediocre?
Well, I think initially the Congress was lying dormant
Yes.
because if you see after the last elections, when BJP had won only one parliamentary seat, I mean one assembly seat, and after that, the last election, that is 2018 election, BJP won only one assembly seat.
Yes.
After that, it was BJP which was leading the, opposition to KCR government. Whether it was street demonstration or holding rallies against KCR, it was all done by BJP. And a lot of that effort was done by Bandi Sanjay, who was seen as a very aggressive face.
Hmm.
And over the years, there were by-elections, and then BJP added to that assembly seat from one, it became four. And in the Lok
Yes.
Sabha elections of 2019, BJP managed to win four parliamentary seats.
Yes.
Now, this time, and in between, what happened? They started taking people from TRS, from
Yes.
KCR's party.
Yeah.
So you had leaders like Itala Rajendra, who was number two at one time to KCR.
Hmm.
Now, when these leaders started coming in, there was a tussle between the loyalists or the original BJP leaders and those who came from outside.
Yeah.
So, in order to balance it before these elections, so there was a change of horse midstream. That
Hmm.
is, our Kishan Reddy was sent as BJP state president.
Yeah.
That somehow did not work well with the cadre. It dampened the enthusiasm, and consequently, we saw was in the meantime, Congress started work around about 8 9 months ago,
Hmm.
and then they had in I would say a very, very tactical and a strategic leader like Revant Reddy, who belongs to the real estate sector in Hyderabad, who is one of the successful realtors, and who is also a disciple of the Karnataka Deputy CM DK Shivkumar.
Okay.
So he has been learning a lot of the tricks of the trade from DK Shivkumar, and
Huh.
he managed to convince the Gandhis
Huh.
that he is the best bet for Telangana.
Okay.
And incidentally, his baptism began with ABVP,
Oh.
and from ABVP then onwards, he was in TDP for some time and joined the TRS. And in the meantime, he got married to the niece of then Congress leader Jaipal Reddy,
Okay.
and then he wanted a ticket from KCR. And since KCR did not give him, he left and contested as an independent.
Yeah.
Then, after some time, he won and he joined Congress.
Hmm.
So, and Revant Reddy has some best of relations with many RSS leaders.
Okay.
And that is why it was being said against him that he's actually a Trojan horse. They should not be, he should not be encouraged. But then he's a very energetic person
Hmm.
and very aggressive. And consequently, Congress left it to him to do the job.
Hmm.
And with the backing of his mentor, DK Shivkumar.
Hmm.
Actually, basically, the mood was against KCR. There was a
Hmm.
lot of resentment on the ground, which Congress managed to cash.
Yeah.
But then, despite the problems faced by BJP, Minaji,
Hmm.
the BJP increased its voters percentage from 7% to 14%.
Yeah.
And if you look, even given the last situation where they managed to win four parliamentary seats,
Hmm.
now question is this time they will definitely aim for more.
Hmm.
Let this government settle down because 6 months' time is too short a period. Revant Reddy faces a lot of internal problems. You
Hmm.
already see they had to make that Bhatti Vikramarya as his deputy CM because they had to
Yes.
show a Dalit face. He's a Mala.
Mm.
And there are going to be other problems in managing the show because it's not
Yeah.
so easy.
Mm.
And Revanth Reddy is a greenhorn when it comes
Mm.
to administration.
Mm.
So one does not know how he is going to manage a state like Telangana.
Yeah.
And you cannot write off KCR party also because they
Mm.
also have, they have lost heavily, but they have some numbers. So it's
Mm.
going to be interesting scenario before the Lok
Mm.
Sabha elections.
Mm.
And see, there are a good solid voters in Telangana for the BJP, and
Oh.
they are not going to be put down by this result. Rather, they will wait for an occasion like the Lok Sabha elections,
Mm.
where they would like to back the Prime Minister Modi.
Yeah.
And for the Congress, for all the out of the 17 seats there,
Mm.
they will have to win a maximum number of seats. Suppose
Yeah.
BJP gets two digits.
Mm.
There are 17 seats. Suppose they manage to go up to 10. That means only 7 Congress will get. That is
Yes.
not a possibility they will accept. So they will have to also work very hard. And
Mm.
if there are problems in delivering those Lok Sabha results,
Mm.
then the High Command will soon lose interest in Revanth Reddy. Of
Yeah.
course, in choosing a leader as a chief minister, the Congress High Command follows a principle that he who is willing to mobilize enough resources for the party
Yeah.
for the senior top leaders of the Congress
Mm.
is chosen as the chief minister.
Yeah.
There is no other bigger consideration.
Yeah.
So delivery and other thing, whether it was Ashok Gehlot in Madhya Pradesh or Bhupesh Baghel in
Mm.
Chhattisgarh, their essential quality was their ability to mobilize resources.
Yes.
Now, when I say mobilize resources, it may sound very euphemism
Mm.
for corruption and things like that. I'm not suggesting that there are other ways of, but then Congress leaders are known for mobilization only in a particular way,
Yes. In a
which is
particular
actually
direction.
their undoing in
Yeah.
Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan.
Mm.
Minaji.
Mm. Revanth Reddy, you say his mentor is DK. So, what do you think are the tips that he would have given him?
So as I said, you see, his experience has been in realty sector, particularly when Cyberabad was developed.
Yes.
So Revanth Reddy, picked up a lot of properties, some of the disputed properties. This is also a trade or an art, I would
Mm.
say, where you are willing to invest in disputed properties, then get that area cleared of encroachers, and then sell it at a higher price.
Yes.
So for that, you need a lot of muscle power, and all that is
Yes.
very common in big cities like Delhi
Yeah. So, I was
or
thinking
in
about
NCR
muscle
region or
power.
in
Yeah.
Bengaluru, where people go for disputed properties.
Yes.
Where others are scared and run away, they go for dispute properties, buy it, or work use administration to get some properties as delisted. Some
Mm.
agricultural lands are delisted so that later colonies come up.
Mm.
Unless, of course, they do it in low-lying areas of Chennai, and finally nature, unleashes its fury, and they are all surrounded by water because
Yes.
Chennai has been losing water bodies like anything.
Yes.
And those water bodies were converted into new colonies.
Yeah.
And same thing has happened in Bangalore also. If it
Mm.
rains heavily, then
Absolutely. Yeah.
you are wading through a waste level water
Yes.
because the drainage system is a bigger issue. Now, I am mentioning in this context because the importance of Revanth Reddy is that there is a lot of hope that the Telangana's realty sector will look up because he himself belongs to that business. So he will be a chief minister who may not exactly fit in the Rahul Gandhi's mold of things because
Mm.
they have made a lot of promises, but his interest will be more in infrastructure and things like that,
Yes.
given his nature of his personal business. So what is to be seen is how much of freedom he gets to operate, and what
Yeah.
about other ambitious leaders? Because already there is a talk of OBC phase. Now
Mm.
they have appointed a Dalit, they have to give something for OBCs also.
Yeah.
And
Right.
Reddy is seen as a very dominant community in Telangana as well as in Andhra
Yeah.
Pradesh. So all these caste equation balancing we'll have to see, and what is the honeymoon period of for Revanth Reddy, that has also to be seen.
Yeah. Also, because DK Shiv Kumar is often referred to as the ATM, in Karnataka, and will he also become the ATM for, the Telangana? Is something that can be.
People say he's already an ATM. That's why the ATM is now has been given so much of charge because to become a P because all his detractors were saying he paid a lot to become
Yeah.
PCC chief. Now he would have paid a lot to be chosen as CM. This is all
Absolutely.
the buzzword coming from within Congress leaders who are opposed to him. That
Yes.
Revant Reddy is a big brother. Anna is very powerful, very influential, and
Yes.
there are a lot of backers for him who will do what is bidding.
Mm.
Because the Congress style operation is always like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yes.
seemed we have just lost some connection with Shekhar ji, and yeah, let's wait for him to rejoin. And yes, so friends, today is a very big news for us SSRians because finally the Maharashtra BJP government has taken a stand, and they have initiated this investigation into Aditya Thackeray's possible involvement in the Disha Salian case. So we'll be talking about this. Yeah, we have Shekhar ji back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Uh,
how you all along.
yeah. So,
No,
Shekharji, moving on to the next piece of news. Now, the Maharashtra government, Shiv Sena leader, has now asked SIT to investigate the Disha Salian case from the famous SSR case, and they are now about to question Aditya Thackeray. How do you see this? Is this going to lead directly to the SSR case, and then a lot of these people are going to be exposed now?
well, despite earlier CBI looking into the matter, and there was always misgivings that the case had not been fully looked at it from all angles.
Yes,
Now, here we would not like to speculate on as to who could be behind this or things like that, but the state government's response is on the basis of appeal from various quarters that
yes,
the truth has not been arrived at.
mm,
Because and people have always suspected that this lady's death had something to do with SSR's death subsequently,
yes,
and
yes,
whether there is some link, and this needs a further probe.
yeah,
Because in SSR case, I think the investigators came to the conclusion that it was a suicide.
yeah,
Now, in her case, how she fell from such a high-rise building,
yeah,
and that when a party was going on in the presence of some people. Some of them
yeah,
are VIPs, we
yeah,
are told. So that's a mystery that is yet to be resolved. The whole idea behind the state government is to clear the air and assure the people that the state government is not going to shield anybody, whosoever it may be. I think that's a message coming from the state government decision to revisit this case. Meenakshi.
Also, Shekharji, see, it was very similar to Sunanda Pushkar's case, where Sushant and Disha were about to give a press conference to reveal something that was happening within Bollywood. So something that they were planning to expose through their press conference, and they got wind of it, and that's how people say that that could be one of the reasons why they were bumped off. So it would then lead to alleged murder of both these people. So this could be the link is there, sir, because Disha was handling SSR's business deals through Kwan, a company, and that is handled by and Cornerstone, that's handled by Bunty Sajda of IPL. You must be knowing him. So there is a link definitely between these people. But what has happened is till now Aditya Thackeray has remained very quiet. But somehow now he seems to be becoming more agitated. So which means that the noose may be tightening around his neck very fast.
Well, if the police are allowed to investigate this case without any kind of interference,
Yes.
probably the investigation could reach to a logical conclusion.
Yes.
Because it was always suspected in the previous scenario
Yeah.
that the police did not have a free hand, or they were told not to proceed after they had reached a point where it was felt that it was going to lead to some VIP.
Mm,
Now, we do not know who is this VIP, what happened, who asked them to stop. We do not know, like in Sunanda Pushkar's
mm,
case. But one thing is very clear that the fact that these suspicions are persistent,
yes,
as to the mysterious nature of this death.
mm,
Why would a poor little girl, who was just new to the industry, be
yes,
subjected to this kind of a situation
mm,
where her life was lost in this
yes,
way? Now, the big question is, was she pushed,
yeah,
or was there a situation which could be construed as an abatement?
yeah.
We do not
So,
know, but
you know,
definitely this.
yeah, the point that you're saying, that is only an angle that other people see, but there is another angle to it, sir, where they say that she was forced to attend a party, in near Juhu, where she and her boyfriend saw some things happen, and she wanted to report that to the police. And when she called the police did not return her call. And then she had an argument with her boyfriend, and when this it became heated, the host or hostess came to them and said, "What's the problem?" So when they discussed this, apparently they were separated, and after that this girl was done away with. So that is what has been the second angle. And it's the person who where the party happened, the hostess, is a very very top producer. And apparently, all the photographs that were taken on that night, you know she asked everybody to not show even one image of that party. So apparently there is something that happened at that night. But moving away, so that's again something that we are not, very clear about. Uh, uh, how come, someone like Paramveer Singh, who was the top officer there, who knew everything and who was, covering up everything that was happening, why was he given a clean chit and he was allowed to go?
So that the very fact that there was a change of government, and the idea was that whenever somebody is let off the hook means they are willing to turn approver, or
Hmm.
they are willing to share some details into matters which are under investigation, which have not proceeded further.
Okay.
So we do not know on what grounds has this happened. We'll have to wait and see, Meena, because you know I do not want to speculate as
Yes.
to what
Understood.
could be, because that would be injustice, doing injustice to our viewers who expect us to
Yeah.
come up with details and to
Yes.
provide. But one thing is clear: this very development, that the
Yes.
police have been asked to given a free hand to go into this whole issue,
Yeah.
this could open up a Pandora's box.
Okay. Okay.
And this time, I think there are no restraint, there are no indications or anything from the political bosses to by you follow this way or follow that way.
Yes.
Let the truth get investigated
Yes.
in all
That's
its
true.
dimensions. And I'm sure in the next 2 months, you are going to see some sensational lead, which could completely overturn the views we have held on this case thus far.
Do you think Modi ji would have become even more stronger after these results, to clean the system and to make sure that everybody is working, in a very transparent manner?
So definitely, you see, this whole mandate that has come in Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, and Rajasthan is, you see, in Madhya Pradesh, it is pro-incumbency vote.
Yes.
In Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan, it is anti-incumbency vote.
Yes.
And everywhere, what we have seen is Prime Minister was the face of the BJP.
Mm.
His guarantee, his word mattered the most for the
Yes.
voters.
Yes.
People were not willing to believe the promises and more promises kind of thing unleashed by Priyanka Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi. People did not accept that. A lot of it was promised.
Mm.
Now, in order to understand,
Yes.
decipher this mood, one can only say that there is something called trust quotient in the elections.
Yes.
And these elections have shown that you can promise anything.
Mm.
You can promise anything to the voter, but
Yes.
the voter is going to only believe that
Yeah.
which he has already is
Absolutely.
had a
Yeah.
taste of it.
Yes. Yes.
We have seen many of the flagship programs,
Mm.
PM Awas Yojana, Jal Jeevan Mission, Jan Dhan Yojana,
Yeah.
and the other schemes for women. All
Yeah.
these things people have already seen.
Mm.
So only on that basis you can see that people have responded, and that is why Modi ji keeps saying that the guarantee per Modi ki guarantee that
Yes.
whatever we assure that will be implemented. That is my guarantee. So you can see this is also a wake up call
Yes.
for politicians who they promise the moon and then people are left high and dry after the election. Now see
Yes.
what is
Yes.
happening in Karnataka.
Yes. Absolutely.
So many promises are made, then subsequently some cutoffs came, then some eligibility factor came in, and today people are not happy. And it's a unique situation in Karnataka. Either the Congress legislators are happy with their ministers, or are
Yeah.
people, and they are all hoping that now the Lok Sabha elections are coming. After that, the question of leadership change. Now DK Shivkumar is doing so much of Karseva.
Yeah.
Definitely is expecting some reward.
Yes.
And Siddaramaiah is determined one thing, whether he does 2 years or 2.5 years, he is not willing to hand over the baton to DK
DK.
Shivkumar. He would rather prefer somebody else. And what is cushioning Congress or insulating the Congress from all this thing is the number they have in the assembly.
Yes.
That's a 135 member legislature party. So nothing is there to completely overturn the cart. But at the same time, there are certain pointers which shows that things are not okay there. Because the other day I just saw a report where the Congress MLAs are unhappy with excise policy decided by the minister, where
Yes.
they are accusing the minister of trying to favor some people, which means there is already a scent of another excise scam in Karnataka.
Yes.
So this is the issue. Now the people are seeing that they want a government that delivers at least on the basic minimum.
Yeah.
And Congress is, has suddenly realized that the only way it can move forward is to divide the electorate, saying OBC, this, that, and even that OBC card didn't work because these states, Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan or Chhattisgarh, have not responded to Rahul Gandhi's, OBC survey
Yes.
and things
Yes.
like that. And of course, Congress has succeeded in Telangana as in Karnataka to
Yes.
able to attract the minority votes.
Mm.
That's a good reason why KCR's party has lost 29 assembly seats because the minority vote shifted from KCR to the Congress.
Yes.
Definitely that is there. But apart from that, what you are seeing is where the anti-incumbency was very strong against a regional player, Congress manages to succeed because
Yes.
Congress has not been there in power ever since Telangana was created.
Yes.
And today, when Sonia Gandhi was present at the Lal Bahadur Shastri Stadium in Hyderabad
Mm.
and witnessed the installation of a Congress chief minister, for her it may be a redemption of sorts because when Telangana was created, the party attempted to credit to Sonia Gandhi.
Yes.
But it
Yes.
was KCR who walked away with the trophy, saying that, Sonia was not interested in creating Telangana.
Yeah.
My agitation, people's agitation for Sonia to create a separate state of Telangana. And with that, he managed 10 years. But then the fact that his rule was seen more of a family oriented politics and then charges of corruption, despite his delivery system was not bad. He had delivered on many schemes. Anyway, 10 years is a long time in politics, and I think the mood was for change. Probably BJP heard its strategy or the idea of taking people from other parties. That has
Mm.
to be examined because we saw it happening in Bengal. They took so many
Yes.
people from Trinamool.
Yes.
And finally, those people went back. So people in Bengal were asking if BJP is an alternative to Congress, why all the faces of the BJP in the last assembly elections of 2020 were mostly Trinamool leaders. So people actually did not get to see a choice. And after the elections, many of them went back when they realized Mamata is back in power. And I think BJP would have learned some lessons from this. Look, you have to build from scratch as you are doing in Tamil Nadu today with Annamalai's Padayatra. See, you have to build from a scratch and show yourself as an alternative.
Yes.
Yes, you may take in some one or two leaders, but if you wholesale, you do some trading, bring a lot of people from other parties, then what happens? The identity of the party gets diluted when they
Yes.
see the faces. I think that is what has happened in Telangana because many leaders who came from TRS, they went back. Some people who came from Congress went back. Some people who came from Congress to TRS, they went back because there will be floaters, the leaders who have, you see, Telangana, Karnataka states have people who have lots of money and are interested in politics as a pastime.
Yeah.
But today, people are no more interested in part-time lovers. They want people who are dedicated, who are service-oriented.
Yes.
And that is a message PM has been telling his own partymen, look, this is the message from these elections.
Yes.
that people expect us to perform. We are in public service. We have to make a difference.
Yes.
So this is the message from these assembly election results.
Mm,
And I think the BJP will do well to keep this in mind. Yes, there are in many states where they may not have enough cadres or okay,
mm,
they may take one or two leaders, but if you have to take a large chunk,
mm,
I think this problem will come and whose loyalty will be under suspect.
mm.
And if the elections results are not good, they will go back. So that is one point to be kept in mind. But this is a perennial battle, Meenaji, between
Yes.
the loyalists and the newcomers. That's a perennial battle.
Mm,
But definitely for Congress, it is such a shock. You can see how the and now within the Congress they are blaming the fact that they were undone by Congress being seen as a party that doesn't respect Sanatan Dharma,
mm.
that they were keeping company of people who were making mockery of Sanatan
Yes.
Dharma.
Yes.
And you saw the controversy over calling this whole result as people.
Apparently, Yogi Adityanath has shown very clearly that he has zero tolerance towards corruption and abuse of power. So he has actually sacked people who are showing tendencies, towards corruption, and remove them. So isn't this something that a lot of the other leaders should follow?
Definitely, you see, Yogi Adityanath has made a big difference to the quality of governance in Uttar Pradesh. There is no doubt about it. In fact, his mandate for a second term, was largely on account of that. And I mean, can you imagine in Uttar Pradesh, he got a second term because a lot of women felt
Yes.
that law and order has improved under Yogi Adityanath. I
Yeah.
mean, law and order becoming an election issue, then you can imagine what was the state of affairs in Uttar Pradesh before Adityanath came.
Yeah.
I mean, for women to feel that only Yogi Adityanath can guarantee a better law and order, security for women particularly, and that is why that vote of 2022 for Yogi Adityanath was seen as a vote for law and order among other things, among
Yes.
other deliveries on the governance level. Now,
Yes.
Yogi Adityanath's governance has been at zero tolerance for terrorism, zero tolerance for all kinds of vandalism, and also zero tolerance for corruption. And that is why you saw that when he came to second term, he went in for an overall lot of new faces. So, so you can see that Yogi Adityanath's approach has continuously received support from the people of Uttar Pradesh, and he is on a path to show that UP, which was always referred to as a state that was ungovernable or state that was beyond good governance, he has completely reversed that. That idea.
Yes. Yes.
Today, you are seeing he is seriously attempting to bring investors to Uttar Pradesh because such
Yes.
is the potential of Uttar Pradesh.
Mm.
It has a demographic dividend. It has a lot of natural resources,
Yeah.
and it needed a committed leadership, that which it has got under Yogi
Yes.
Adityanath.
Yeah. Jaydeep, the next question.
Sir, yeah, coming back is with regards to, I see a pattern that BJP is going very aggressive in its politics because, as you know, that Bhupesh Baghel lost the election in Chhattisgarh, and his name was allegedly linked to the Mahadev app scam, as we all know, and because of that, most probably he lost that election. And then you have now in Maharashtra with this, they're going to investigate Aditya Thackeray. So you see an aggressive brand of politics from BJP as a strategy. You see it as a political, point of view also from in this.
Jaydev ji, I don't see it as aggressive politics. I see it as a responsive politics
Yes.
and a responsible politics
Mm.
because the general tendency for the voters to think is that all politicians are alike, all parties are alike. They promise one thing and then when they come to power, they forget about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They talk of good governance, but they do everything that is bad economics and bad politics. So this cynicism and skepticism is now sought to be brought down. That is why Prime Minister keeps emphasizing, even in when he addresses people after election victories, he keeps reminding them, look, go to the people, tell us about our programs. Even now there is a Vikshit Bharat campaign going on, where he has asked ministers, he has asked government departments to go and tell people in detail what are the programs, what are the schemes. Go and tell the people, and let's see that nobody is left out of those schemes.
Mm.
मतलब he keeps saying, मतलब किसी को वंचित नहीं होना है.
Mm.
Nobody should be kept out from these, which
Yes.
is actually a new approach to politics.
Mm.
Because Antodaya, the last mine, the person standing on the queue has to be covered.
Yes.
Now, this idea to bring more and more people under the the welfare net, or under the net of schemes which are specially meant for the people, for uplifting them. Now he wants more people to be covered. Now look at this one thing that has given very good result, Aminaji, is this aspirational districts program. Now these are all non-sexy subjects for the newspapers and the media,
Mm.
but that is what is giving political dividend.
Exactly.
These 112 districts of this country, of the almost 700 districts you have in this country. Now, this 112 districts were most backward districts,
Mm.
where mostly the majority people were either Dalits or tribals.
Yes.
These districts, despite 60, 65 years, have lacked basic facilities. Now, Prime Minister looked at this district and asked Niti Ayog to come up with a plan
Mm.
and rechristen these districts as aspirational districts.
Yes.
That these districts, we are going to see a fast track development where the basic necessities are provided, and whether it is schooling, whether it is health, whether it is water, sanitation, whatever. And who did he get to work on it? He looked at the officers who had served in those districts as collectors initially, and later would have risen in ranks and are today secretaries in the government of India, or the rank of chief secretary at the state government level. And got them to talk to young people who are now collectors in these districts.
Yes.
They exchanged their experience and looked at ideas that were practical, that were needed to be done to fast track things. That has given fantastic results on the ground. Lot of things have improved, and also the political dividend is in all these districts where the election has taken place compared to Madhya Pradesh. I mean, when you look at the data in Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan, they voted for BJP.
Mm.
So whether it's a tribal region, a Dalit strong region, backward region, and also the role of women voters,
Yes.
Minaji, this time
Yes.
has had a
Yeah.
very important
Immense.
impact.
Yes.
Take,
Yes.
for instance, Madhya Pradesh. A
Mm.
lot of credit is going to the Ladli Behna scheme, a scheme meant
Yes.
for girl child, for women, for child which right from the stage of primary school up to pass out from plus 12, then going into the college, special schemes to provide them assistance. Because invariably what was happening was a heavy dropout of girl child.
Yes.
By
Yes.
the time she finished schooling, she was, told, no, no, start working, do the domestic
Mm.
work or work in the fields.
Mm.
Now, this scheme has seen more girls, coming up to the plus 12 level, then in turn entering college.
Yes.
Now, this is a big thing that has happened, and no wonder you saw in the Madhya Pradesh elections,
Mm.
women queuing up to vote.
Yes.
And I can tell you something, women have shown that they can have a mind of their own. Earlier, it
Yes.
used to be said, who are the head of the family, bhai, isko vote dena, falana ko vote
Mm.
dena, is
Mm.
party ko dena.
Mm.
But that writ no longer works,
Mm.
because they are beginning to see, look at take for instance the issue of water scarcity. The Jal
Yes.
Jeevan mission, the mission of providing piped water supply, it has changed lives of so many people,
Mm.
because the challenge was tremendous. There is still a lot of area to be covered,
Right.
because if you were to do a dipstick kind of investigation, go somewhere, land up and say, you'll say, no, no, this village has not received. I would say, don't look at it that way. Yes, there will be many villages where the schemes are yet to reach, but there
Yes.
are also many villages where it has reached.
Yeah. So it's
This is
happening.
the strength. This is the
Yes.
strength of Modi's, attraction for voters.
Yeah.
That here is a prime minister who is sincerely trying to solve the problem, sincerely to bring delivery on the ground. And that is the reason why, Minaji, we are
Mm.
talking of Modi's guarantee.
Yes.
And this is going to get replicated at the Lok Sabha, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Because more than ideology, people tend to
Mm.
think it is ideology that is working. I think more than ideology, it is these simple things that are happening on the ground, which is bringing governance closer,
Word
and
of mouth
people
as
are
well.
seeing a
Yeah.
perceptible change in their lives. Some
Yes.
ease is coming. That is the main reason, and that's the lesson of these elections.
Yes.
And for Congress party not to realize, after all, a Congress party was a party in government, and it has experienced leaders who would have known everything. But today their voices are silent. They have been made
Yeah.
silent,
Yes.
or they are forced to parrot what Rahul Gandhi thinks.
Yeah.
And Rahul Gandhi goes abroad, gets ideas. Some they tell him, you try the OBC idea. Again, he's going abroad. December 9th, he may be going to he's going to Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, where he'll be addressing some diaspora. Some people there who have probably George Soros connection or whatever, we don't know. They will come with some more ideas.
So what you say is so true because see, I was listening to my maid, to speak to one of her relatives in Chhattisgarh, and the conversation was, before the elections. So she said my maid was telling the lady, please vote for Modi, huh? Because if you vote for Modi, lot of things will happen, good things will happen. And when she kept the phone, I said, see, what were you discussing? So she's saying, I've got relatives in all the election happening countries, states, so I'm just encouraging them to vote for Modi. So what you said is so true because women are seeing so many changes. They are already, word of mouth is going around also. Now, one candid question, sir, for you. You've been an editor and you've been watching the mainstream media very closely. Why is the mainstream media not highlighting these very qualities that Modi ji is showing through action? Why are they not showing? They only highlight the abuses that are hit at him, the arrows that are struck at him. Why is there so less spoken about his achievements?
Well, till the election results came, they were ignoring it like that. But I think
Yes,
post elections, they
yes,
are beginning to look at the statistics and are beginning to see that there is a linkage between the development index and the kind of poll outcome that they are seeing.
yes,
Now, the media has a tendency not to look at the good story because
yes.
they feel that a good story is not a story.
Yeah,
It's a bad story that sells, it's a negative story that sells.
yeah,
But today, Binaji, across states, across cities and towns, people are looking for hope.
yes,
People are looking for some positive energy. They have heard that this country will never improve, our trains will not improve, our flights will not improve, our highways will not improve, things will remain like that, our system will continue to be so cold, but they are changing.
yeah,
So people are now filled with more hope that is the truth, and they feel that only with positive energy things can change, because you can always be negative about anything. As an
yes,
individual you can be, there could be so many things wrong with us or wrong in our lives at present, but there are also certain things that's going right with us.
yes,
But do we focus on those right things? No. We tend to always look at the things that we missed, things that did escaped our attention, or things that did not measure up to our expectation, and things like that. Now, this is also applicable to governance model and what the people expect the system to be. But it's a tremendous challenge. It has taken 10 years for Prime Minister Modi to come to a point here where you and I are not are no longer losing hope, rather now beginning to hope
mm,
that yes, a change is possible, things can be bettered, things can be improved. I think that's a very positive thing in itself,
yeah,
because India is such a vast country,
yeah,
huge population, different types of people. Yet to bring about some kind of a model of governance,
mm,
that's a tremendous challenge, and it is
yes,
happening. And the prime minister has always been telling even the opposition chief ministers and opposition parties also, look, that is what he said, after the result. He said, look,
mm,
the time has come to stop this negative politics.
mm,
Let's join hands and do the things. See, you
yes,
can always have politics on that.
yeah,
And there are some CMs who have already taken the cue. Like, for instance, Odisha Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik.
yes,
His
yes,
party is no friend of BJP because they are
yes,
rivals in Odisha.
mm,
But Naveen Patnaik has ensured that as a chief minister, he has to deal with the prime minister, whoever may be the prime minister,
mm,
whichever party he may belong, and try to see that Odisha, which is a developing state, gets the best of centers help, best of centers
yes,
attention, and the resources are available to it at the time it needs.
yes,
And people are happy about it.
yeah,
That's why Naveen Patnaik has been, I think, he is the longest serving chief minister today in this country.
yes, yes,
He has been around for a long time now.
yes. People respect him a lot.
So I think it's a time for change in politics. So it's very important for Congress to stay relevant.
Mm,
See, they can win state elections
mm,
because whoever is a counterpart, their doings and non-doings, acts of commission and omission, all this will play on the local state
mm,
level. But when it comes to national politics,
mm,
I think they have to look at what is the alternative they are willing to offer.
mm, mm,
Now, Meeraji, very interestingly, after
mm,
the results have come, The allies of the Congress are telling Congress, look, you lost because you were arrogant, you were not accommodating us, and you went for soft Hindutva. But what I'm saying, Minaji, they didn't go for soft Hindutva. They let themselves be persuaded to pursue things or, appear to be actually anti-Hindu.
Yes.
And that has cost the Congress. See, after all, when DMK's rising star Udayanidhi Stalin made all those silly remarks, I would say,
Yes. Yes.
actually silly ones about Sanatan Dharma and all that. Now, Congress did not have the courage of conviction to say, look, we don't agree with this. This is
Yes.
too much. We
If
cannot
they had
accept
stood,
this.
it would have made a change.
That would have benefited because what happened was definitely BJP made an issue of it. Even Prime Minister spoke about it. And And what happened was, in a place like Chitrakoot, where there are many religious leaders who are very upset with what Udayanidhi had said, and you must have heard of a very famous religious teacher called Ramabhadracharya, who is a blind person, but who is so well versed in Ramacharita and other scriptures, and he has a tremendous following. He was so upset with the remarks of Udayanidhi Stalin. He said, look, this election is a battle. He's not a political person. He
Yes.
said this is a battle between Sanatan Dharma and Adharma.
Yes.
And that had a tremendous impact. By the time Congress realized, only one leader was willing to do correction. That was Kamal Nath. Whereas Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, they thought it fit. The best course is to take the line, everybody has a freedom of speech.
Yes.
You didn't say that everybody has a free to speech when some remarks were made against other religion. Now, when Udayanidhi was told by the Congress leaders to tone down, he did not tone down. He said more,
Yeah, he
and to
became
add
worse.
to add more ghee to
Mm.
the fire.
Mm.
A. Raja also joined, saying compare it to what not, something which is unrepeatable here.
Yes.
Now, sir, today, Jaidevji and Meeraji, today, we have reached a point. Look, we are all tolerant people who accept everything.
Yeah.
But there is a point where, we no longer want to be, we no longer want to be, constantly under the deluge of remarks that show, that make critical remarks against our faith. People
Yes.
are not willing to accept that anymore. And particularly in the north, certainly not. And now that the Ram temple is opening in January 22nd, I think there will be a wave of bhakti and devotion. You have to accept that
Yes.
because
Absolutely.
something people are waiting for such a long time.
Yeah.
So January 22nd, when the Prana Pratishtha is done, when Kumbhabhishekam is done, you are going to see a surge of people, a surge of feelings of emotion. Now, this is was pointed out by RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat on the Vijayadashmi day, which is a very important address every year he does in Nagpur. What did he say? He said, look, people have waited with such a long time. It's a great occasion. All of us may not be able to go to Ayodhya immediately because there will be problem of crowd management and all that. Let us celebrate this occasion in our homes, light dams, and let's chant, Ram Ram.
Yeah.
That's all he said.
Mm.
But Congress reacted saying, no, no, now the RSS is trying to, upstage everyone. They are using this. They are trying to utilize all this. And then the same evening on the Vijayadashmi day, Prime Minister addressed a gathering in Dwarka, that is Delhi. That Ram Dahan you have, as part of Ram Leela to mark the Vijayadashmi. Prime Minister said, look, Ayodhya is a good example of how patient pays off. People of India have been patient over several centuries for a temple to come at a place that they believe Lord Ram was born.
Yeah.
And finally, the temple is coming up. This is a very that's all. But Congress went hammer and tongs even during the course of this election.
Yes.
They said, no, no, again BJP is using Ram temple, almost to the effect saying that they were very upset with the fact that Supreme Court has given a verdict and settled the matter. That also backfired because people said, look, though Kamalnath and all tried to say, no, no, we are the ones who opened the locks. We allowed the VSP to do Karseva. We also deserve credit, but the damage was done. If what is done and dusted, why do you make commentaries? That is, you get a feeling that you have to woo the minority votes. At
Yeah.
the same time, you can say anything to the other vote.
Yeah.
That is why, if you care only for 15% vote, what happens to the rest 85% votes? And
Exactly.
in India, everybody has a vote. So I think Congress must also do an introspection, because after all, it's a centrist party. Of late, it has been hijacked to left radical ways, and that is
Yes.
not giving influence.
Yeah.
And we need a robust opposition.
Yeah.
It's important we have a robust opposition.
Yeah.
But I do not know whether the current leadership of Congress can stand up to that responsibility and challenge.
Yeah. Absolutely. Brilliantly said, sir. You have explained it so beautifully. I mean, even for the layman, they can understand exactly what's happened during these elections. Thank you so much, sir, for this session. Wonderfully said, and Jai Hind.
Jay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.